Down in the field, they'll get situated, while up in the booth, we'll get situated with the owner of the DC Breeze, Don Grage. Don, thanks for joining us. What a half for your team. You've seen every point your team's played this year. Where does that half stack up?
I have seen every point so far, and I have to say this is definitely one of the most impressive halves we've had. And Montreal is a very impressive team. As most people know, we had an incredible game with them back in DC, and a 1-point difference at home made for a pretty scary goings-on up here in Montreal. And so far, I'm pretty happy with where we are.
I know you must have anticipated a close game after what happened against these guys at your place. In your opinion, when everything's going well for your team, who's making the plays and what goes right to have everything go right?
Wow, I think it's pretty much everybody on the team does a fantastic job. I mean, we have our go-to guys, and there are main handlers, as you would normally expect, and then you've got your cutters, and we have, as you know, as most people have seen so far, we're missing a couple of our big stars, Tyler DiGirolamo on cutting and Alex Thorne on the handling, and but so far we haven't skipped a beat, and that's what one important thing we wanted to show people tonight is on ESPN. Without two of our big name players, we are not a two-player team. We have a whole bunch of studs on both sides.
You've been playing Ultimate for a long time. Started playing at 18 years of age in California, then came to the DC area. Take us through, for you, when becoming an Ultimate Frisbee owner really became a possibility in your mind.
It became a possibility, honestly, about 3 weeks before I signed the dotted line and became a half owner. It's been a whirlwind since last November, and I owe it to the AUDL for putting something together that I, from a financial and business standpoint, was interested in investing in, and for bringing a sport that I think has always been underexposed, always had a great chance to be a spectator sport, and to help bring that up to this level and take it to where it is. And then I can't say enough about my co-owner, Aaron Foreman, who got through the 2013 season. And frankly, I don't know how anybody could get through an AUDL season as an owner alone. He had his wife and family and so forth, but without another co-owner that had his own network. I'm very impressed with what he did to get it to the off season and to and what he's been doing to help me at this point. So it's been a great relationship with him, and I'm thrilled to be part of it, and I'm thrilled to be part of the AUDL and to have a co-owner and somebody that I can trust and like to work with. And this team, I mean, what else can you say about our team and where we are and where we might get to go still this year?
Obviously, it starts at the top with the owners, but you're only as good as your head coach in many situations. Alex Gesquier, Dutchie, chatted with him earlier this week, and he said that you reached out to him, you met for a beer to talk about what he could bring to the team and what you would want from him. What was your sales pitch to him, arguably one of the best coaches in Ultimate in the world right now?
Well, first of all the greatest and most important business meetings happen over beer, I think. So, of course, that's what I offered the first time I got to meet him. And really, I have to say the sales pitch was that there is a whole new vision and a whole new momentum, and that we have some big moves already happening. By the time I talked to Dutchie, I had already gotten Alex and Ty on board, and that just explained to Dutchie, and he agreed that him coming on board too was yet another huge step in the right direction, and that he would be a fundamental part of a big program and something that is going to make things happen in the ADL. And I think he was excited about the pro game as a new challenge. He's as you know, he's done amazing things at every other level.
What's impressed you the most about how he coaches when you get to see him up close?
He is so incredibly calm and at the same time so in control, and that's what impresses me the most. He always knows what to do, but he never has to make a huge deal about anything. And the players just they follow pretty much everything he says, and they so believe in him. And I think it's because of his approach, because he's strategic, he's calm, and he knows what to do, and he gets it done.
An amazing career. He led Revolver to a national title, a world championship title, led Scandal to a national title, trying to lead them to Worlds this August, also trying to lead DC to an AUDL title. The logistics of being an owner and certain things like crossing the Canadian border, always you have some unique encounters. Tell us about your drive to Montreal this weekend, and what happened at the Canadian border?
Yes, sir. It wasn't too big of a deal, but it was fun. We typically with large cars, sometimes large vehicles, sometimes you get pulled over to the side so they can check passports, get out of the car, and that sort of thing. And while we were doing that, naturally, I've got a bunch of Ultimate players with me. They decided they needed to throw the disc around a bit. So they went out into the road right in front of the customs windows and started throwing the disc around. And so it didn't take long before some very heavily armed woman came out, dressed in her bulletproof vest and everything else, and could not believe we had the nerve to throw a Frisbee around right in front of customs in the road. So we stopped. She walked away, and about 15 minutes later, we were getting back into the vehicles and getting ready to go, and she walked by, so I decided I should offer to teach her how to throw a flick.
How'd she feel about that?
She was not too excited about it, and she was actually a little bit appalled. It was a little disappointing that there was no humor whatsoever in that comment to her.
What'd she say to you?
She said, I cannot believe you are joking with me. I am an armed officer of Border Patrol, and I am still an officer, and I'm still on duty since the last time I talked to you, and this is a little bit shocking.
Maybe on the drive to New York tomorrow, you can meet her up and teach her how to throw a scuba or something.
I think I will give it a try. If I see her, I can always try one more time and hope not to be arrested.
Next week, as we wrap things up, ESPN3 comes to College Park, Maryland, home of the DC Breeze. Playoff push continues against the New York Empire. What are you most excited about in terms of having ESPN3 and having this sort of second place chase continue next Saturday at your place?
I think the most exciting thing is going to be what's on the field. We have some incredible competition in New York, Toronto, and Montreal, and even you've seen that we've even had some close games against Rochester and Philadelphia. I mean, it's a good division of very good Ultimate players, and I just can't wait to see what happens on the field tomorrow and then next week, and we'll see what happens.
Don Grage, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.